Hello, welcome to the official YouTube channel of Law Prep Tutorial. In this video, we are going to discuss what to expect from CLAT 2026. Remember, it's all speculation. मैं जो बोल रहा हूँ अगर सही हो गया तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि मुझे सब कुछ पहले से पता था. ठीक है. I'm only making my guesses, well-informed guesses, having studied CLAT absolutely intensely for the last 6 years. I believe that CLAT can still spring up some surprise. The first thing is CLAT 2024 and 2025 the English section was really easy. Matlab, you could hardly leave a question. One way you could leave a question was if the question itself was incorrect. Just a question number 16 in CLAT 2024. You would spend a lot of time because you would try to find out the quoted word in question number 16, जो कि actually passage में नहीं था, and that could make you panic. And when you panic, you know, things start falling down. If you don't do that, if you remain conscious, if you find a question difficult, and if you move on to the next question, I think you're going to have a very smooth journey. Let's take a look at the English section. You see, we've got vocab, idioms, figures of speech, tone, fact, inference, and grammar questions. Grammar has not really been asked on the CLAT. CLAT has offered its sample tests in which it has asked grammar questions in the past. However, in the official tests, it has never really looked at grammar. Now, we must also remember that in just before CLAT 2024, CLAT announced that the exam would be student friendly, which means agar grammar aata hai, so people with language barriers might feel slightly marginalized. So the chances of grammar appearing on the test are very low. However, we should expect कि एक question, दो question grammar के आ जाए. इससे क्या होगा? Since you'd be preparing for grammar, AILET might become easy. So my suggestion is that we focus on vocab, idioms, figures of speech. There are about 25 figures of speech that you must focus on. Tones का एक list है. Watch our videos on tones, and you should make yourself familiar with those highly frequent tones that are used in these entrance exams. The two questions, RC questions, that you must focus on definitely are fact-based and inference-based questions. You cannot afford to make a mistake. You make one mistake and there'll be thousands ahead of you already. So you've got to avoid that. You've got to be very careful. Grammar, of course, you must not miss out on grammar. If you work on the grammar, I think it's like killing two birds with one stone. That is taking care of two exams, CLAT and AILET. Other questions have also appeared in the reading comprehension section. CLAT 2020 में it started with a course of action question. किसी एक टेस्ट में बीच में assumption question भी पूछा गया. But these are so isolated that you should really not worry about it. You know, anyway, you're going to focus on the logical reasoning section, and that should take care of assumption and course of action questions. The other section that I'm going to talk about today is the logical reasoning section. Now, historically, 2020, 2021, 22, and 23, we've had logical reasoning, and which means logical reasoning, technically critical reasoning. But then in 2024 CLAT, held in CLAT in December 2023, we had an addition in the very same section, a passage on decision making. The rules were different, right? It's like cause, effect, course of action, all combined together. The level of thinking was different, of course. So you are expected to think differently. It repeated itself in CLAT 2025 as well. So it is expected that they might repeat it again, repeat it in 2026 CLAT as well. Another surprise that was brought in 2025 CLAT was the addition of a passage on analytical reasoning. I think it was a seating arrangement set So if it has happened once, it could happen again, right? So you must ensure that you are preparing yourselves for some very important, some crucial topics on of analytical reasoning, such as blood relations, seating arrangements, etc. Critical reasoning was left with just 2 passages, 12 questions. So not an extremely high share, still the lion's share. But then you see how CLAT has diversified into various thought processes and brought to you different questions just to test you at different levels. You prepare for analytical reasoning for your AILET. Technically, your CLAT analytical reasoning is also sorted. So you're not doing anything new. You're just changing priorities every once in a while to ensure you're able to accommodate more types of questions. There will be more such videos coming up soon dealing with what to expect on various other sections in CLAT 2026. Stay tuned. If you have questions for us, do feel free to reach out to us and ask your questions in the comments section. Thank you.